Check on them beads. Yeah, they haven't gone
check on those beads.
too far.
Sure, the plug hasn't gone past its point.
Right.
Sucked it up like a greedy suckerfish.
Like a greedy goose.
No return.
Like a greedy goose. Okay. Boil up a pot. Take a seat by the hearth and enjoy a fine brew with the Journeyman Questers!
Mein Journeyman Questers! Let us quest.
Oh, there we go. There's the music.
Oh yeah, there's other music over the top.
What's going on? It sounded so dissonant.
What the fuck?
You wake up and it's all a dream.
I can't stop the other music playing. It says it's not playing.
It does.
Oh, it's so janky.
This makes me feel angry and
Hang on, let me see.
scared concurrently.
It's like a horrible dream.
It's like when the CIA brainwashes you and gaslights you.
Yes.
Into
Right.
thinking,
I cannot stop that.
Oh, one of them stopped. Although the song might just have finished.
It's the one that's currently playing. I can't stop. Good.
Okay. Should we all come off roll 20 and go back
If I
in?
go like that. Oh, I did it. I made it stop.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So, we have a catch-up today. Written by Joshua Oliver for Aidan, who is not here. So he's rewritten it for Zook by changing all of the instances of Seeker with plant.
This is like
not quite.
This is like buying a suit from a charity shop. It's just ill-fitting.
Hopefully it works. We'll see.
I actually couldn't tell when I read it. But
What kind of music do you want, Zook?
epic. I can't remember. You told us the different options last week, but I can't
I need
remember.
an epic one, actually.
Big
like
sound.
Epic, do
Like
you mean
battle
temple?
epic?
No, as in this is the
This
end
is
of
good.
days.
Oh,
This is good. This is.
like this.
I mean, end of day. Yeah, this is fine.
You were like, yeah, end of
think
days,
that's-
but this is fine. This will do.
This is fine. There's trumpets. That's very end of days.
Okay, take it away.
An epoch is about to be determined. Generations to come will speak of this day, and the stories will be told over and over again, passing from parent to child, sibling to friend, neighbor to passerby, teacher to student, bard to audience, druid to woad. The toll on the earth will be able to be read in the rings of trees long after they have grown and their mighty trunks have been felled, or, if they're lucky, they fall under the weight of their own age. For hundreds of years to come, the word will spread. The plants will converse through their roots. Animals will migrate and travel across the land, telling tales of what happened here, and the lore will shape lives and livelihoods forever. Accounts will be written, perspectives transcribed, ballads published, poems crafted, and groves, I hope, will be planted to heal the scarring of the continent. But which way will those stories be told? That is yet to be seen. It will be determined by our actions here on the plateau. The path of civilization could meander down several roads in the coming days, each leading to its own definition of the future. It's not hard to look around myself and at the collection of heroes I stand here with, and believe that this will end in euphoria, that we shall push through the battle like a young seedling pushes through the blackness of the soil. Like all compelling tales, There will be casualties, of course. Some people I stand here with, I shall not share a word with again, nor shall our shining eyes meet amongst the meadows while we gather herbs in the warmth of a summer's afternoon. Yet despite these hardships, those fables usually come to a bittersweet ending. It is not hard to believe that we will weather the storm that the Lich King will deliver upon us. That the thrumming energy I feel around me, emanating from each of these powerful adventurers and shapers of destiny, will prevail. That we will come out victorious on the other side as the raging storm passes and sunlight tears through the frigid clouds. I could not bear any other kind of outcome. The road has been fraught with danger along the way, and our journey together has been a fruitful bounty of stories and experiences. I can think of no others that I would gladly walk into uncertainty with, and this would not be the first time either. To think of where we came from. A copse of bedraggled strangers, each on the run or looking for a new start. How naive we were then. It truly is a blessing that the winds guided us together like seeds caught in the wind. We all landed in exactly the right place to grow strong and start a forest of our own. I only hope that each of us, with our curses and our boons alike, are enough to stop Bren from creating the avatar he seeks. For if Carmoon truly is to manifest itself and walk upon this plane of existence, then darkness will scour this world and leave it as a husk of shadow and despair that may never be reversed. No signs of this could ever be foretold in the whispers that are brought with the breeze, and only our future selves know what we will face out there in the frozen wastes, and what horrors might unfold. Never before have I felt the weight of history in my hands, such as this, and it surely is an immeasurable weight. If only I could share in the wisdom of the other archdruids right now. I'm sure that they would know what to say. It's like Bellum Kanda once said, the ocean is vast, but without each drop of water, there would be... Cinder? Are you even listening? Cinder? Oh, roots and shoots, my friend. It's like speaking to a regular source of flame sometimes with you. Hey, no, Cinder, that's a hay barn. You can't eat that. It'll burn the whole town down. Fade to black.
Nice. I couldn't tell at all that was done for Richter. That was awesome.
Good. I'm happy.
Right. So, Gypsies, as you stand in the graveyard outside the church of Ilmater, by the graves of those now dead and passed from this world, Fate's children stand before you. Fleet, looking toward you all and saying, upon the morrow, the blood moon will rise, and that is when we will strike. Are you with me, Gypsies of Fortune? You all in turn looked to him, nodding, saying your confirmation of his words. Good luck, Gypsies of Fortune. Good luck. And with that, Fleet turns and begins making his way back down the hill out of the graveyard.
As they walk away, I'm just going to call after them. Fleet, you should eat with us tonight at the hedge quarters. All of you.
He turns, dips his head slightly. I unfortunately must decline. But the others, you are free to do so.
All are welcome.
Elgrin with me. And you watch as
It would
they...
be,
Yes?
it would be good to at least get some kind of inkling as to what we're heading into, the state of the battle, what's occurred.
There will be a briefing. A war council, the final war council before the attack upon the plateau in the morrow. But you are right. Silas will fill you in. Perhaps if the rest are to have dinner with you all, then they can fill you in with what we know so far. But as for me and Elgrin, we must return to the plateau. There are others there that are counting on us to show our faces.
Very well. We can share a story over a bowl of Nathia's stew this evening.
You're slightly quiet, Josh.
How about now?
That is good. That is good. Your voice grows weary with age, Ruthus, says Fleet. You watch as they walk down towards the bottom of the hill, and you watch Elgrin reach towards the tree and tear open a hole, and they both step through.
Tear it a new one.
So grown up. Zook gazes across the town. What do we see from this vantage point? What has it changed?
From the hill, you can, in fact, I've got a little. Over the tops of the houses sits the sleepy town of Angmiri. Much the same as it was, but not quite as you remember it. The Crimson Keep rises higher than before, with a shared banner of crimson red and field green with a blazoned suncrest sol and the green leaf of Angmiri, and also the silver key. The Mirial and inner stone wall look much the same, but the town now sprawls further out past the second wooden wall constructed during the Battle of Angmiri. In fact, the second wall is now replaced with another sturdy stone fortification, and a wide third wall encompasses the larger town, stretching further up and down the river out north across what used to be the farmland. You can see over the hill, over the river to the other side and up towards the kind of western edge of the Bell Wood, where the familiar oak tree that you usually used to use to transport yourself around. There's like a tiered sort of garden up the hill that's been kind of dug in, as well as what looks to be like housing sort of up the side as well. But it's all very overgrown. There's lots of like hedgerows and bushes, small mulberry and gooseberry bushes left to grow in a sort of winding circle, mossy cobbled paths leading through rows of hawthorn into the Bell Wood. You can see smoke and light from within parts of the Bell Wood behind the oak tree, like the kind of closest part to Angmiri. The houses sort of zigzag down, and there's kind of lots of trees that have been sort of planted and hedges, etc. The areas where on the southern side of the river, on the other side of the river, where they had been like sort of the new builds at the time, that's all like developed out now, and all of the surrounding fields that were there are just kind of like more areas of Angmiri, kind of stretching out. The forest definitely has been cleared back on the northern side. Not a huge amount, but some way, probably to encompass the town growing and the demand for more housing. You can see, in fact, roll me a perception check for more kind of detailed.
Yeah. 26.
26. You can see, I'll ping it on the map. So down here, this is the old map.
What would you like to see?
Down here is where the Crimson Keep is. It sits sort of on that peninsula section here. and takes up pretty much the whole thing. And the hedge quarters is obviously just here. It's like kind of right next to it. You can see the hedge quarters, and it looks pretty much exactly the same. It has not changed even one bit. It's dwarfed in comparison to the now even taller fortification. The Mirial looks the same. Doesn't look changed one bit. It's stayed the same pretty much the whole time. But you can see the market has like grown. Seems to be more shops. There's sort of more hustle and bustle. There, you can see the taverns. You can see the Fortune's Rest rising high above some of the others. It's 4 stories tall, a large inn. But you can also see to the kind of northwest where the Brawling Boar sits. It is still there, and you can visibly see denizens sort of going in and out. You also notice down by the south gate, the familiar kind of large stable where the 2 short planks inn sits, looks unchanged and unspoiled. It's almost identically stayed exactly how it is.
Well, gypsies, as Rufus gestures for everyone to gather around, we've been in this situation before, haven't we? I think we know what to do. Looking around at each and every one of them, we find ourselves on the eve of battle once more, which means we need to prepare. We need to rest and gather supplies, anything that we might need for the coming battle. And of course, if there's anyone you want to see, to speak to, this might be your last chance. Yes?
Dutch, is there anyone you want to see? I could send you to the peaks if you needed me to.
Yeah, that would be nice, thank you.
Not a problem.
The rest of the Fate's children are still sort of nearby. They're around. You can see everyone other than Elgrin and Fleet are kind of still lingering. If you needed to chat to any of them or organise anything else.
Remind me who the remaining members of Destiny's Child, I mean Fate's children, are.
Destiny's children.
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's
I said, 'cause I was...
So we have.
So we've got Beyonce. We've got.
Yeah.
We have Anchor.
Yeah.
We have Silas and Gaze. We have Elgrin and Fleet, who have moved on. And then we have Arabella and King,
yeah.
and Jin.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Let me just double check that's everyone. Oh no, and your brother Yunin.
Oh yeah, of course, Yunin's there as well.
Yeah, Yunin's there. Yeah, I've seen your message there. I've got a plan.
Okay, yeah, no worries. That's fine. Now, just reminding, just in case.
I'm just going to quickly take Rufus to one side. Rufus, I know this is all a lot, and there's many questions that we all have. But aside from all of this, if we only have today before we go forward, I was wondering if you would be interested in joining my faith, my mission, the beliefs I have. You show remarkable synchronicity with the tree. You are in tune with the rhythms of life. And if you would allow me, I would like to officially admit you into the path of druidism.
It is no secret, Zook, that you're right. I do hear the whispers of verdure, the tremors beneath the ground, the vibrations of all living things. I can sense them. I would like that. I would like to understand it more.
There's really only one place that it would make sense to do such a ritual, and I believe we will have time. If you'd meet me, perhaps when the sun is low in the afternoon.
Very well. We shall do this.
What about you, Drow? Oh, sorry.
If I can give something back to High Canopy for giving me life itself, then I will surely do so.
Absolutely. It'd be my pleasure. Drow, what will you do?
To be honest, I feel at a loss. The people that I care for, that I have connections for, are either all here or many miles away, and I know that time is limited and your abilities to send people places is also. I'm sure that on the morrow I will be reunited with Aureus and the church, and that may have to do. I think I'll be content to spend the evening with, well, my brother Hunin, and of course Dutch. I hope you do not spend too long at the peaks, brother. I know you must see your people before what must come, but...
Well, I just want to make sure they're not all dead.
That's fair.
Yunin steps forwards. Well, the peaks. Yes, the wintry orcs that live there.
Yeah.
Some of them are at the plateau. They are fine.
Oh, good. Then I'll see him then.
It's no bother if you want to go, Dutch.
Oh, fuck it. Let's go to the pub.
I know it sounds strange, but I wouldn't mind checking in on that cantankerous dragon priest. There's nothing like an annoying face to,
Welcome you home.
Exactly.
Oh, I do hope he's aged badly.
You remember that? I can't remember who it was that said, but one of Destiny's child.
Yeah, he's at the plateau, isn't he?
He's at the plateau.
Great, then we can put it on our tab. Because he's not. Drinks on Vari.
Destiny's children is here.
Everyone bar Elgrin and Fleet.
To be perfectly honest,
You're still quite quiet, Josh.
What is stopping us from going to the plateau this evening? I don't profess to have as keen a tactical mind as Ruthus, but I wouldn't mind at least taking in the lay of the land and what might face us. I feel like in this situation, my mind is best put towards working towards what we must achieve.
Fleet or Elgrin, I can't remember which one. They said that they would be the ones to take us there. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we would get there. But we may as well use this time to prepare at least. Maybe buy resources. Who knows what will happen out there.
Oh yeah. Could you make any more potions, Zook? I drank the last lot.
Yeah. I could try and forage for some this morning. I'm actually fresh out of ingredients, but I could see if I can find something in the woods. I'll have a look.
Nice to see the circle before we go.
Oh, absolutely. I intend to head there now.
You have no intention to go to High Canopy, Zook?
I do, but perhaps later today, with Rufus.
I see. I thought that was what you might be getting at.
Oh no, I'm going to see my grove in Bellwood now. I think. See what's become of it after 19 years. I hope it's been well tended.
Rufus would like to go to some of Destiny's children and just ask, pray, children. Wait, no, you're adults now. Tell me, who else will be there at the plateau?
You sort of directed out. Anchor steps forwards. There are many at the plateau. Be more specific, Rufus Suncrest.
Well, I guess I was curious to know if Celeste might be there.
Celeste
You said that she had broken away from the Empire and had formed her own kingdom. Is that correct?
I am familiar with Celeste Suncrest. There are forces from the Glinting Kingdom, but I am unaware if she is present.
I see. Is anyone here able to send a message?
Yunin and Silas both sort of step forwards. We can.
Would you mind asking if Celeste, where she is and if she'll be there tomorrow on the plateau?
Not at all. Silas, you watch as she casts the same glyphs in the air that you've seen Richter do so many times, and she begins sort of muttering to herself. A few moments pass. No, she is not there. However, there are two higher up members of your family, or of the province, that are there on her behalf.
I see. Very well, thank you.
There are more questions I must ask, but perhaps we could do it in a little more comfortable environment.
Jin sort of scratches his beard. Yeah, I'll be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how Varian's doing.
He's at the plateau.
He's at the plateau.
Of course, I keep forgetting. Pub.
Yeah, pub.
Which pub are you heading to?
Varian's pub. It's free to drink there.
The Fortune's Rest. Okay. You head through town towards the Fortune's Rest. And seeing the same blue and white striped building of the Fortune's Rest, it decorated with the insignias of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon himself. It's still quite raucous within. Let me change up this music. You push on in to the tap room, and you can see it has been sort of extended out to this quite, like, maybe when it was renovated it was nice, but it does not look new at all anymore. The floor is kind of sticky with probably lots of spilt ale. It's almost soaked into the wood of the ground and given it its own polish. There's a variety of pretty well-made tables, all kind of dotted about. Each chair that's pulled up aren't stools, but instead they're backed with what appears to be almost dragon's wings or dragon's claws, various dragon-implemented kind of carvings on the banisters of the stairs that lead up. The bar itself is fashioned to look like the
dragon?
No, to look like a large caravan. Like the window of the side of the caravan is open, and the bar is there, and it looks very reminiscent of the Wayora's caravan that led you all the way here so many years ago. It's pretty packed. It's full, but as you step in, no one goes silent to. Like no one seemingly particularly recognizes you, save for the smashing noise of glass as someone behind the bar, an elven man with sort of mutton chops down the side of his face, almost slightly greyish complexion even for an elf. He's just holding a rag, and maybe where he did have a glass in hand, looks through the kind of mingling mess of people and suddenly turns and begins ringing a bell on the side. And you see everyone begin to suddenly like quieten down and turn towards this figure behind the bar. He looks over towards all of you and says, "Well, patrons, it looks like the Gypsies of Fortune have arrived." And you see your old pal Grim. He doesn't look aged much at all, now being an elf, and beckons you over to the bar. The people in the tap room, some of them recognizing the name, sort of, but a lot of them just go back to their drinking. Time has passed, and you're now kind of pushed into legend and story.
We're not cool anymore.
It's all about the Fate's children nowadays.
Destiny's Child, fucking hell. They come over, and who was before Destiny's Child? I don't know.
I feel like we just should slap them up a bit.
We're the Spice Girls.
We're ABBA.
Yeah, we're ABBA, yeah.
Oh,
no. What are you doing?
Well, I suppose in a tavern one must drink. Shall we get an ale?
Draug just like kind of makes his way behind the bar, like tries to go around the bar, and he'll just like bear hug Grim.
You can get round by like climbing up the steps through the door.
He jumps over. He jumps over the top.
Grim lets out a sort of gnomish yelp from his elven body, and you grab him in your arms. He's like wayfishly thin, but sort of spry at the same time. Ooh. Well, it was good to see you as well, I guess.
How you doing?
Pretty
Grim?
good. Oh, it's been a long time.
Bloody good to see you.
It's great to see you.
It's been about 24 hours for us, but a long time for you.
Damn.
Indeed. At least someone is pleased to see us.
Why, you hasn't been?
No, I just feel like a ghost in my own town.
Well, things have changed somewhat. Those youngsters, they've certainly taken over now. Ain't no youngsters no more.
Couldn't you have advised them on picking a slightly more snappy name?
I don't really think they know where I am, to be honest. They don't really come in this tavern very much.
Where do they drink then?
I don't know if they do. They're a bit proper. Well, you know what? Jin comes in every now and again. But he usually comes in, gets fucked and smashes something, cursing my boss, cursing Varian. Something to do with
that's fair
killing him at some point, I think. So
he did kill him.
Yeah. I think it's fair enough, but it lands on me and I end up having to clean it. So
don't worry, I'll have a word with him. Anyway, does the ale still taste like piss?
Oh, it certainly does. But I got some better stuff at the back I can get out for you. Some harder and stronger piss. He turns round and begins pouring some what looks to be like a fine malt vintage of some kind.
what's the specialist thing that you have on offer at the moment? It is a special day after all. Could be our last drink, some would say.
Well, I mean, this ain't for the customers. No offense, he turns to some gruff, bearded, old drunk man local. But, I mean, if you want to try what everyone else is having, I think Varian ordered in something called... Well, he's renamed it. But it's a Varamarkian ale from Varamark City itself, but he's renamed it the Northwind.
Is that because
of account of the
it makes
belching?
Wind come out of the north?
Correct. You don't want the south wind. Apparently that's something
No,
else.
I was about to say that would be a
Straight
messy
from the
affair.
Dragon Priest's bladder. I'll take some of this whatever this special under the counter stuff
He
is.
picks it up and sort of turns it around. What is this? Oh, well, speaking of, and he turns it and you can see the Suncrest insignia on it. I think this is from the Glinting province. You can see it looks sparkly on the inside of the malt. Got flax, bit of flax seed in it. Interesting.
well, I guess we'll give it a try, but
Hey, you remember him? Hey, Meldek. Come over here, Meldek. You see an elderly-looking dwarven man kind of comes over, hobbling over a bit. A large, lidded flagon in hand. He squints up towards you with some sort of what look to be kind of broken spectacles. He smells a little like someone who's had too much beer and they just sort of like smell like beer. But you recognize, some of you at least, recognize this dwarf. He looks up towards you. Hey, do I know you?
You're the one on the boat, aren't you?
The boat? Oh, those days are long past.
You were transporting ale for Varian, is that, I believe?
Well, I still do a bit of that, but my sons do it mainly now. Yeah, here ferrying back and forth to Thaldoral we do. We always been, generations of us.
He the guy we saved from Thaldoral.
He's the one who owned the boat. Yeah.
Whose boat we stole. Commandeered.
Yeah, you commandeered his boat, and Varian since got him to do shipments to the Varamark.
Oh yes, I do know you, Maldek. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
My
we
reputation
sailed out of
precedes me.
Thaldoral together in the wake of its destruction. It was a long time ago.
He scratches his head. Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, stressful times tend to put them behind me a bit, I think.
You must be pleased that you're allowed to go back there now, no?
Somewhat. I mean, we stay here mostly. Good for trade. Ain't much of a nice place, though. Hasn't been since, the occupation and all.
What's it like in there now? Is it a safe place to go?
Yeah. Well, why are you asking so many questions, though?
Well, we've been away for 20 years and things have changed.
Well, maybe what's in it for me?
Perhaps a conversation? People who might want to talk to you?
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I just flew up to Rufus like, Rufus, even I know he's hunting for a drink.
25.
25. Well, I haven't had a good conversation in a while, I guess, with such a man as yourself. Yeah, well.
I'll
No,
tell you what, Maldek. And I'll flip a coin to Grim. Wet this one's whistle for us, will you?
Oh, thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. Hey,
If you're
Meldek,
so desperate.
none of the shit piss that I've given Varian, yeah? Get the good stuff out the back. The good stuff. Grim is
Thought
like,
we were already drinking the good stuff.
well, you know, I've told him. I don't know what you mean, Meldek. There isn't any good stuff. And you know it. Varian's been fucking off to the plateau for so long, he's kind of left this place to me. And I ain't no good barkeep. We all know that.
So Varian, how is he doing? Seems like he might have turned a corner from his entrepreneurial adventure.
Oh, he's good. I mean, he ain't much of a good boss. You know, he doesn't even pay well. He can be a grumpy asshole. You know what? I don't think I have a good thing to say about him, quite honestly.
Is he a better priest now, or is...
Did he repair his ring?
Oh, why? You know what? He did do that. Repented, he said. God, he does half go on about that platinum dragon, don't he? Well, he repented. I mean, took him quite a few years, long after he built this place up. Really sunk a lot of money into this place. Quite a few debts, I think, from quite a lot of different people. Get people coming in all the time trying to get money off him. I just tell him that he ain't here. He ain't here. He's in the plateau. He's fighting the good fight. Is what he's doing.
Well, in many ways, we owe him a few debts. If you remember any of the names, I'll just slide him a piece of paper. If we live through what faces us tomorrow, perhaps you inform me of a few of these individuals, and I might pay them a visit.
I'll have to do a bit of digging, but it takes a bit of paper. I'll get back to you at some point. Just come back, eh? Come back. It's supposed to be a big fight out here. Big fight in the Varamark.
Well, there's at least one demon who has my name written down, so we'll have to see how that goes. Did I ever tell you about that?
No. But, you know, those days a bit behind me. Yeah, no offense. Trying to live the simple life. He sighs.
Getting paid shit by a terrible boss. Sounds great.
Yeah, well, you know, it's come with a few perks. Hey! And he smacks the old man's hand as he's trying to reach for a bottle behind the bar. Get back from there! Damn.
Come along, Maldek. Let's have a seat. Tell us the tale.
You take a seat with Meldek.
Did the others come in as well? Were we coming in with like?
Yeah. The rest are there, but I'll say like they bought a drink and they've taken a seat at a table already. You scoot over and join them, and you can see them all. They're all just like, even though they're in their late 30s, they're all just a really awkward bunch of people. Like they all just look really uncomfortable in this situation. The only person who looks vaguely relaxed is Jin, who's sort of propped up in the corner of the booth, smoking some kind of pipe weed. But
Dylan starts to walk over and he looks at them, and he's a socially awkward person, but he has a fantastic cure for this, and it's called drinking. Immediately turns back, gets shot glasses and like a bottle of something really strong.
Jin is like, all right then. Well, we got a massive battle to fight tomorrow. Is this really
what's
sensible?
Your point?
Arabella turns and it's like, oh, you've got to be serious. Like, come on.
Are you saying that you need courage for tomorrow?
Look, if I haven't learned anything, then it's one thing, and that's a hangover really fucking makes you work hard for it.
Arabella leans in, grabs one, and absolutely slams it down on the table. We haven't been to a tavern in so long. Come on. And you can see Nkong is like running around through, not Nkong, sorry, Nking, running around like through the crowd, through people's legs, like knocking people over. People like trying to pet him, and he's like massive, like jumping and knocking people over.
I sort of make eyes.
We call
at
it
Union.
Dutch courage, don't we, Dutch?
Silas and Union are like sitting next to each other, just kind of quite properly and looking kind of awkward.
Is Gaze in there?
Unit, sometimes I struggle to believe that we actually share blood.
Gaze isn't able to fit in the booth, so Gaze is just like hovering there, and Anchor is standing like up by the bar next to them.
Just like T-posed.
I still don't understand why you biological folk put poison within you for fun. It does not make sense.
Because inside we all secretly hate ourselves a little bit.
Do you require some therapy?
Probably. I mean, Dutch over here, his
I
favorite
know
therapy
is-
is getting hit.
Yeah, therapy costs money. Getting punched in the head and then drowning yourself with whiskey's free. Ish. Depends if you steal the whiskey.
Jin begins visibly laughing, and you can see Gaze like ha ha ha, chuckling at the same time. Anchor turns and says, "Dutch, may I ask you a question?
What?
Why do you hate yourself?"
Fuck off, robot. I'm gonna pour a fucking drink in his mouth.
his mouth isn't just going to open for you, but are you like
Fuck
doing
that,
this to
dude.
go to his mouth?
Yeah.
He kind of moves his mouth closed back away from you.
Fine, I'll fucking drink it.
I do not
It's,
require sustenance through liquids.
What
don't-
do you?
What do you do?
Sustain
What do you
yourself
do?
on.
I thought I was asking the questions to you. You are in need of therapy. I looked around at all of you.
You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't shit, you don't fuck. What do you do?
I live.
It's not really living, is it?
Maybe a little bit of I don't know how much. I mean, you were there for the blood moon, weren't you, Anchor?
Yes, I was juvenile. I did not yet understand the world. I was processing.
Well, so I mean, myself and Dutch, we had a hard life. We've seen many things, and and that's not even just in the past. It's in more recent years, on the blood moon, Dutch saw my throat get ripped out, and he thought I was dead for over a year. I mean, that kind of thing leaves its mark. Is there nothing in your past that has done the same?
I perhaps. I know
I mean,
not
you-
where I have come from. All I know is that my now father figure, Kunda, has taught me the world. But we do not know how I came to be.
Is Kunda is Anchor bigger than he was?
Yeah, he's like 8 foot. He's like nearly at the ceiling. He's so big.
Did you grow, or were you added to?
I do not grow like a plant or a gnome, but I augmented myself. It was necessary for the battles to come.
Where is Kunder? Is he well?
Kunda is well. He will be likely in his offices or workshop in the keep.
Right.
see
Well,
it.
I think we should hear about what's happened, don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
Looking towards the others as well. Aside from Anchor.
Can someone make a
Can you
persuasion
fill
check
us in?
to get everyone to do the shots that hasn't done the shots already?
Yeah.
Can I make an intimidation and/or grappling check instead?
I'll help
On-
with an
on who?
intimidation.
Who the fuck ain't drinking?
Well, Anchor isn't drinking.
Anchor needs to drink.
We've got to
Okay.
make the
I got
beholder
a-
drink.
We got a
Okay.
22 for
A
the
22.
persuasion.
You see Silas and sort of Unit. I guess I don't often do this, but I am worried for tomorrow. And she takes the drink and she slams it down. You see her face like grimace.
This is when you do another one.
Grab her and be like, don't worry about tomorrow when you can enjoy today. Because tomorrow ain't even fucking promised, is it?
What are you doing?
Also,
you're
Zook
grabbing
has
her,
a great...
did you say?
Just to talk to her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's not
Yunin places a hand on your shoulder. Easy, brother. That's quite enough.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, God. Quickly, say something.
He just sighs and shakes his head.
Look.
Are you gonna... Sorry, I just want to see if Dutch is gonna try and grapple Anchor to force him to drink something.
How big is he?
The robot.
He's 8 foot.
I love how you actually looked up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit taller than you, just a little bit.
Just,
I was like, how tall's the ceiling? Oh, fuck, that's pretty big.
Just enough bigger.
He's bigger than Dutch.
That's a big robot.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to give it a go, or are you going to puss out?
I'm gonna grapple the fucking robot.
Okay, roll me a grapple check, please. Contested with his.
That's some shady manipulation, Tashi.
Oh no! I rolled so badly. Damn it!
I got a 22.
You reach up, grabbing one of his arms and pulling him sort of down slightly to your level and grabbing the drink. You push it against his mouth. He does actually try to resist, not like violently, but you manage to pull him down. There's a sort of like it. You pull him towards you, and it feels like you're having to like pull rock. It's so heavy. You like pull him towards you. It's like
Just a solid dead weight. Yeah.
like you're bending like a big metal girder. Like you're having to bend it towards you. Like it feels very difficult. But even so, you do it. And you pour some into his mouth. And he kind of turns a bit. Jin just starts sort of clapping and laughing. I've never seen anyone do that to him. How did you manage to do that? And Silas immediately gets up and is like, oh my god, Anchor, oh my god, what have you done? This could be so bad. And you see him kind of begin to move and shake.
Feels
I am
good, doesn't
fine. This was a joke. My system can purge the liquid within it. And you watch as steam sort of begins to rise between cracks in like the sort of... His arms look like lots and lots of plating. Like they all kind of shift. Like metal rungs that are all kind of connected. And he just sort of moves his arm out a bit and they all separate slightly. And it seems to let like steam out between them.
Has Yunin taken a shot?
Yeah, he was persuaded by Rufus. They all take a shot.
I'll start filling up the shot glasses again with Mage Hand.
Okay. You watch as one of the shot glasses just levitates off the ground, it slowly moves and drops itself, glass and all, into Gaze's mouth. He just crushes it down in his massive mouth that's there.
Just start clapping.
Some blood dribbles out from where he's cut his lips. Oh God! Silas is there like this. Oh God! Oh no.
How much have you missed us?
Seeker.
What are the people in the pub like thinking about Gaze? Like
They seem to recognize him, and people are like pointing at not you but them, and sort of like whispering to each other in awe.
Sakes.
I mean, it seems that as though your reputation precedes you all. Could you just, Fleet sort of, he brushed over a lot of details, but it would be good to know at least something.
Yeah, well, Fleet likes to do his own thing. I mean, yeah, he's in charge, but is he really in charge? Jin kind of looks at everyone else. They all nod. Yes, he is in charge, Jin. Of course he is. I didn't want to bring this up earlier. It just didn't feel like the right time. But I don't know. Now we've had some drinks and we're in the pub. Maybe it isn't the right time either. This is Arabella talking. But Aaron, my dad died.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
He it was an accident. A hunting accident. But he died what he loved doing. And before you ask, we don't want to bring him back. He specifically asked me after Jin returned. He didn't want that for him.
Yeah, we've been burnt by that before. Well, you have my condolences. How long ago was this?
It wasn't actually long after you left. Maybe a couple of years.
That is truly saddening. He was a great man. We did so much together. Went through so many things.
She raises one of the glasses. To Aaron. To my dad.
Indeed.
Zook actually drinks this one because the other ones he's been shape watering down his wrist and out onto the floor.
No way.
Are you trying to hide that?
Another shot.
Yeah.
You sleight of handing it.
Roll a sleight of hand. I'll allow you to add your magic because you're doing it with magic instead. You can use your wisdom.
Wisdom mod. That's a 10.
A 10. Yeah, Drow.
23.
Drow is fully aware you've been doing that.
I'd like to after the second shot. I'll be like, I'll go over to Zook and I'll just try and get him in like a sort of a little headlock and be like, "You've got some catching up to do with like another shot."
I turn into a bear.
Googoosh. There is now a bear in there.
As you do that, I instinctively turn into a werewolf.
Yeah, Jin also goes.
Excited, he just throws the table out the way.
Fight! Anka takes a step between you. No, please. We do not fight between ourselves.
It's a good way to.
We do.
It's a good way
Push
to
him out of the
warm up.
way.
Make a shove attack on Anka.
What is that using? Is that my grapple check?
It's athletics to push.
Okay.
I want to help him.
Okay, so 23.
You shove into Anka, and you watch as Dutch pushes himself backwards. He doesn't even move. He just stands there. I rolled a fucking natural 1 on his last one. This beats that. He stands firm as you go, and you push yourself back on the floor like your feet are slipping.
I'd say I will crush the shot glass in my paw, and then just like leap onto the bear and start trying to grapple the bear.
You feel a third figure jump in as well as King just like is like sort of on you, like play fighting how dogs do, where they're like biting but they're not fully closing their mouth.
Yeah.
They're like ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Sneezing. That's what Prim does. He sneezes.
There's like so much dribble from him on you. He's like got those big jowls like a proper sort of mastiff hound.
I sort of fall to the floor just laughing and just like panting heavily after like a bit of a tussle with the bear. And King.
This massive polar bear is just like licking the back of King's head as well. After a while, we calm down and
the people in the tavern have like given a good like 3 or 4 meter distance between your table. Like the neighbouring tables are empty and everyone's kind of pushing out.
What does Grim think?
You hear
What's
Grim's
Grim
voice.
doing?
This ain't good for business. Yeah. Well,
We'll make it up to you.
It's out of Orion's
Don't
pocket.
worry.
Just don't smash anything.
Too late. I broke a shot glass.
I threw a table.
You can just see Grim's just there, like doing this, rubbing his head.
Listen,
Anyway,
we should. Sorry, Zook.
well, no, I was just saying it's sad to hear of Aaron's death.
Yeah. See, this is how we deal with grief.
Yeah. Grief.
She just
things
tells
like
us that
that.
her dad died, and we immediately start wrestling.
Look, we need some physical exertion to get the emotions out. We're a complicated group.
So, what did you want to know? Says Yunin.
Well,
Fill
when
us
the
in.
fuck did you come to Miri? Jesus.
Right. Well. Yes. I came shortly after.
And I'm sorry you weren't here.
Shortly after Father left. He is still alive.
He's still alive.
Well, he recovered, and
What?
I.
We took all his money.
Well, I covered for you. I said that it was burgled by that bitch wife that he had. Excuse my language.
No, I think it's all fair to be,
Yeah.
But, I mean, she was. Tem's doing well. I visited him a couple times.
Oh,
He's
no way. Where is he?
in the Nine Hells. He's doing well.
He's in the Nine Hells.
He is. He is. He is doing very well for himself. Maybe not the most morally conscious, but he's certainly.
Well, he is our half brother after all.
Yeah, he certainly is. And so I came here. Thanks to you both. You sort of told me I should.
Yeah, I'm just sorry you weren't here for when you arrived.
Well, I met some lovely people, and he turns and sort of smiles quite sweetly at Silas.
Do I pick up on that?
You want me an insight check?
Okay. That's a 5, but it does become a 17 because of my ability.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you would. Now that you notice it, they are sitting closer together than maybe strangers would.
Oh, fucking hell. I think Richter was a little bit sweet on yourself, Silas.
She blushes. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. I'm sure it'll be fine. He's a big lad. He'll.
Stories he wrote in his codex.
Richter? But no, I just thought of him as a friend. Like a brother, like an elder brother figure. She looks really concerned.
Oh, I've done it again. I've said too much. Yeah. That's the liquor starting to kick in.
19 years, I suppose.
Well, I came here and I met Elgrin and Fleet and Wayora, of course. And they knew who I was when I said. Well, I stayed here. It was a change of scenery, and I didn't want to stay with Father anymore. I'd grown up.
Yeah, he certainly leaves his scars, doesn't he?
Well, yes, I wasn't the favourite son anymore.
He has another son?
No, but maybe he's gone off to make some more. I couldn't care less.
I still don't understand how he's still alive. He must have been 60 when we left or so.
I don't understand it either. He is powerful, and he must have his ways.
Look, I'm genuinely happy for all of you. That you found each other much the same way that we did.
Thank you, brother.
But it seemed... No. It's more than I could have wished for, really. But it's apparent that the world's not what we left it. What's changed? What has become of the Varamark?
The Varamark stands. We fought in a few wars. One led by Wayora. More of a defense than an assault.
Against the Lich, this is.
Yes. Against this Lich, this Bren, whomever pulls the strings. The Battle of the Great Lakes was won, and it was on Wayora's behalf.
They assaulted the lakes, then?
Yes, they did.
With what? What did this Bren bring with him to fight his wars?
Much the same as
Shankar?
before. Shivra, school, giant folk. But in great numbers. Greater than before. But we held off, and we pushed them back. And once we had pushed them back, after Wayora had died, and the Key brothers stepped up into their grandmother's place, that is when the reclamation of the Varamark began. Barrowsborg was reoccupied and rebuilt. The Ymir were returned back in due to your people's brother, the church, and more of the Varamark. Fieldstown was captured back from the school, and that was quite a siege. Lots of help from various factions of the Varamark, including the Foal of those woods, led by a Gith. We pushed the Shivra back from then on, in the hundreds, further into the northern wastes. The school retreating with them ever more. It was only last summer that we lost a major defeat on the plateau, on the ice shelves, where we suffered a great loss. We were ambushed.
So the plateau is to the north. That is where the front line is.
Correct.
Is it clear why Bren attacked in the first place?
We believe it is similar to the attack on Varamark City and the other bits of the Varamark before it. They took many prisoners. We are unsure why, but they took them in the thousands. Thaldaral suffered greatly. Many during the wars in the Great Lake. Many were lost and captured as a result of lost victories outside of the city.
Thinking back, when we were walking through Zyzus' tower, we saw 2 Shivra, and there were implements that looked like it was crafting implements.
Yeah.
Would Zook make any connection between the fact that prisoners have been taken in the thousands and what does he... Is there any evidence to suggest that Shivra are made from people?
You can roll me an Arcana check.
It's good. 18.
It's possible. The implements that you saw, you remember there were piles of bodies, but they were dead bodies. Piles of dead bodies in the basement of the tower, of Zyzus' tower. And Zyzus was using implements of some kind, but you weren't sure what. They weren't obviously used on... they weren't obvious what the purpose was. There was, blood everywhere and other things. And within the Sky Stone that held it aloft were... Draug actually cut it with his shadow blade and released all these spirits out from the corrupted stone. It's possible, but you wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know.
Yeah. It's possible that he's making Shivrar out of people. I hope I'm not
I guess
correct.
No one's ever been able to get close enough to find out, right? That no one's scouted ahead into the, past the plateau.
Yunin, has the Lich King ever been spotted? Has he ever been seen?
No, but what we have seen, thanks to Rethquad, your old companion, she led some of the original scouting parties years back, further up the plateau. And we learnt that, indeed, far north, across the plateau, is what has been named as the Broken Shards. It has also been called the Shattered Keep. There is a city that exists in the north, in the frozen wastes, where the mountains have meet the plateau. There is an old ruined city, she said she saw atop her eagle. A darkened city with purple storms circling it.
That does not bode well.
We had seen since then and pushed closer to it, and we know it indeed to be the place, or at least the place we hope that Bren resides.
It might be...
And that's...
Sorry, Zook, go ahead.
That's where we battle tomorrow.
The final reconnaissance is happening tonight. I believe that Rethquad will again attempt some sort of flyby to gain information for our fight to come tomorrow. We know that there is some kind of barrier, something that protects this city. For within it, almost circling, she described this storm, crackling about the ruined, broken city. The city itself, from above, she described as the keep, the shattered keep itself in the middle, is broken into pieces. But they stay suspended, circling around in the center, ever moving. almost like a detonation took place in the center of it. Great cracks in the ground exist, breaking out from the city. The walls lie cracked and broken in places and rebuilt, seemingly by Shivra, but also black iron. Hordes of Shivra and School alike clamber outside of the city. But that is all she could see before she was attacked by flying beasts that circle the city. It is dangerous to approach in any way, from land and from sky.
I think
I'm
that
curious to know what the school will get out of this situation.
I think from what we know from the higher ups in the Varamark, a man by the name of Brynjolf, one of the Stein, the first to reclaim the Steinfold, talks of the school as a wicked race, brutish and bloodthirsty. He says they must be in it because they are seeking glory. They are seeking the fight itself, and they serve a master that will implement that for them and give them the means to do so, someone to rally behind. The school were, of course, the first to rally behind Bren.
Having fought them for some years, is there any weakness that this school have?
They are both strong and cunning. Last summer, as I said, when we lost our worst defeat yet, they didn't take any prisoners. We were ambushed in the flank. They used the snow and the drifts that pass across the plateau to their advantage. If it was not for a small platoon that spotted them and ran out to block their path, we would have been all killed.
That was Dutch listening to that. Probably not.
Don't know.
I think no
Gypsies,
matter what,
Sorry, Thea, go ahead.
that's okay. Every time we talk, we.
I just had to check my phone quickly. I'm sorry.
I think regardless of where we choose to fight, the center of our enemy's attention will focus on us. For we hold what Bren seeks. It might be that we have to storm this keep. But I think when he hears of our presence, he'll send his lackeys to seek us out.
Indeed. And speaking of which, Gypsies, I had a thought, something that was spoken to me while we were in the Fae. You may not have noticed because it was only a split second, but there was a moment before Dutch reached out for the Moonstone, where Sparrow and I we connected, and we went to that place in amongst the sea of blood, where we met the king and what's his name? Erasmus, that resides inside the Moonstone. It was in that same pub. Do you remember? Who was I there with? Was it Zook? And
Zook and Dylan has been there.
And Dylan.
The only person Richter's been there. The only person not to have been there yet is Dutch. Oh no. No, Dutch hasn't. But the pawn has. But it was when Sparrow had it.
Anyway, the king spoke to me and he said something. He said that only one can bond with a stone once. And Bren has many stones. Which invites the question of who amongst his ranks has bonded with the stones? Surely it cannot be just him.
Perhaps the Devil Twins.
I think it might be the case that he seeks to use the stone's power in a different way. Not to harness them as weapons per se, but to use the power, to draw from the power, to feel something bigger.
Indeed. But
It
no
may be the
doubt
case
there will
that-
be some minion that's controlling one, at least for the battle. Just to-
Perhaps. Who knows?
Who has the
I mean-
most?
I think we have the majority.
There were spoken of 10, and we have 5.
Oh,
So it is split down the middle, as it were.
Each one that we control stops Bren from getting closer to his skull.
We have to be careful, though. If we fall, it could give a stone to Bren. That's
needs
why we
all
have
10.
to stay alive.
Is that correct?
All of them. Aye.
Supposedly. Well, that's awfully sobering. I think I need another drink.
yep.
I'm going to leave you to your merriment. I'll meet you this evening. Rufus, I'll meet you in the grove just before sundown.
Indeed. I will also leave you here, friends. I wish to peruse the town and see what I might acquire.
You, if you're heading to the shops, then perhaps you could take the money that we have and see what you can gather. I must have a quick word with Jin before we end tonight's merriments.
Well, as long as maybe we have a few more drinks.
Yeah, I think that's vital.
Very well. Zook, you're heading to the Grove.
Before that, I'm going to head to the Crystal Pool.
Are you? You head into town to the main market square. The same layout is there, the kind of square style open market, and in the same rickety, thin, cobbled sort of wooden shop that rises high, almost squashed between two other houses. Its windows thick with condensation and plants sort of almost pressed up against the inside, still there. You see the old sign. It's chipped and faded somewhat, but the crystal pool still stands.
I want to cast Pass Without Trace and try and sneak in somehow, possibly finding a way around the back.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
That's a 25.
You make your way out of one of the corners of the courtyard market and head round the back, and it's fairly built up. The sort of gardens and areas sort of behind the alley that's sort of behind the house. It's full of different sort of crates and boxes and sort of waste refuse from some of the sort of smaller boutiques that have been set up. You make your way around and find what is the back of the crystal pool. There's a small sort of stick fenced garden that's totally overgrown with all sorts of strange plants. You see there's some blood grass, there's some caps of some kind of mushroom that are kind of growing and some vines
Blue
up the
toad
wall.
shade. Yeah. I'm gonna sneak through the garden and try and get in the back door.
Trying the back door, it is unlocked. You push it open softly, entering the humid interior of the crystal pool. You find yourself in the kind of room behind the counter. There's like a small beaded curtain, but instead it's like, vines hanging down. And this is where the alchemy setup is. There's like a little metal funnel that goes out to the outside where the kind of chimney section is, so smoke can go out. And it's all kind of set up. It looks chaotic. There's like stuff everywhere. There's like things still hissing and bubbling. There's like a cauldron on a stove in the side that is like nearly bubbling over with a ladle that looks hot in it. It's like all set up. It's happening.
Okay. Can I look through the beads? Is there any sign of a figure?
Make me a perception check.
That's a 32. 33, sorry.
You can't see anything through there, but you can hear to the right, probably just round behind the counter, you can hear a faint sort of whistling of breath.
Okay. I want to turn into a Siberian tiger. And I just want to stand by the beads and just make a very low, menacing, guttural growl, and then hide somewhere in the room I'm in.
It's small and cramped, and there's precarious, smashable things all around you.
Okay, I'm just going to stand in the room.
You take up the majority of the middle of the room.
Yeah. I'll just be growling and like literally just hunched over on all fours.
You transform, making sure you don't bash into anything, and begin a soft growl. You immediately hear, huh? Hello?
I'll stop growling, and then I just let out a small...
Hell, you're not allowed to be back there, whoever it is. I'll take the same perception roll. You sense someone moving, like across the beaded, the plant curtain, but on the other side. You can hear them and smell them, but you can't see them. They're just moving sort of across, and then now moving slowly away towards the stairs.
I'm gonna just walk up
like,
to the. I just want to walk up to the beads and poke my snout through it and just show my fangs.
You sense them moving. The first wooden stair.
I burst out and I pounce on him.
Make an attack roll.
That's a 23, I think.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I'll make a strength check. Oh, that's a natural one. You hear this boom crack, and then in fact, appearing just like pinned down against the stairs, like part of the stairs cracks in a little bit. You see fairly the same looking Nyx Silverthread. You see Nyx sort of puffy white hair that kind of smushes out in all places, scraggy kind of scruffy bits of wispy beard, some goggles that are kind of askew and strapped up, like pulling his eye sort of up where the skin is, wearing smelly, like he smells a fair bit. He's wearing like some sort of smelly garments that look like alchemist sort of garb to an extent. But he smells like gunpowder and sweat and sort of old gnome. Please don't.
I'm going to open my jaws so that it's almost entirely encompassing his head and just let some saliva like drop down onto his face. And then I'm going to turn back into Zook and go, oh, I was this close to making you defecate. You should see your face next. We have some talking to do.
Yeah, he's going to attempt to scramble up the stairs.
I cast Entangle. Just all of the plants around the stairs, near the stairs, just like shoot out and grasp him around the ankles.
He roll me a. I would say just roll me. He's gonna roll a.
He's gonna roll a strength check, I think.
Okay, I'll roll for that. He like leaps up towards the stairs, trying to grab the banister, quite spry for like an older gnome. But the vines just whoosh, tie him up, and he's like, no, boom, and they like pull him back down the stairs.
That's very rude. We've known each other a long time, Nick.
Oh, please.
Long time.
It's all forgiven now. It's all forgiven. I've been forgiven by the key sons.
Well, you know what, Nix? It's been a matter of months since you pulled that shit, and I have not forgiven you.
I've forgiven myself. I'm so terribly sorry. So terribly sorry, please.
I need you to think long and hard about what the hell was going through your mind back then. Almost 20 years ago.
No, I don't want to relive it. Please.
Oh, you're going to relive it. In front of me. To me. And I'm going to try and understand how you could betray your entire people for Lord knows what.
For coin.
So it is true. Gold.
He begins crying like really pathetically.
Zook kind of looks down at him. 20 years is a long time, Nix. Even for us, gnomes. Perhaps not as long as it is for the other peoples of this world, but I can see that you've crumbled.
I've tried my best to keep the business going.
How did Rinnick go?
Well, I feel responsible. I didn't kill him again, but I made him human. It was my fault.
Nix, I made him human. You put him in the ground.
Right, but you brought him back, and that made him human, and it was my fault that he had to be brought back to begin with.
Aye, it was. Now look me in the eye and tell me that for the last 2 decades, that has been eating your insides.
It has. Every day, I think about the moment I slid the dagger into him. It's the worst decision It's the worst thing I've ever done.
I don't know what you've been doing for the past bit of time, but you know what you can do, Nix? There's a lot of bloodgrass out there. You and I and Rinnick all knew how well that has healing properties. There's the tears of the mother, too, I saw in the corner of the garden. Very good for healing issues of pregnancy. There's blue toadshade that can help with memory loss and bleeding. There's a lot out there. I consider it your job to make sure that no one from this town suffers unnecessarily until the day you die.
That's quite an ask. I mean,
trust me, you'll learn to like it.
I'll do it. I'll try.
Good. Well then, that's what I came here to say. I'm sure we can probably get round to being friends again. But it's going to take time. Your betrayal's very fresh for me.
Right. Well, I would offer you some complimentary potions or something, but it's all gone towards the effort in the north.
Just do what I said and help the people of the town. We've got any herbs?
Let me out. It's squeezing it a little.
Very well. I'm actually Zook at the moment, so I like. Oh yeah, no. I'll drop the entangle.
He kind of tumbles out, catches himself on the ground. Follow me.
He goes into the back, and you can see he lifts up 2 of the floorboards, pushing them over to the side. He kind of reaches down with his arm. You can hear a jingling of like glass down there.
Here.
He hands it over. It's a large red potion.
I knew there'd be something you'd stow away for a rainy day.
Those key boys would have taken everything if I didn't hide it. And I knew you'd be returning, you see, and it was all for you.
Do I believe that he intended this to be
Roll me an insight check.
So 13? So 12, sorry.
A 12. You're not sure. He's a slippery eel.
You know what, Nix? I appreciate that. Now,
it won't go down quite as smooth as maybe some of the other ones you've had before, but it's big, there's a lot. You have to chug the whole thing.
Right, I know just the orc that could do that. Thank you very much, Nix. You think on what I've said. I'll be checking in on you.
Okay.
And I'm going to just
He's going to
float.
begin covering the hole up once more with the floorboards.
I'm going to float out the back door and away to the grove.
You take a sort of side glance as you're leaving, and you can see him sitting on the ground, like wiping his brow, like,
I have to change. I shit myself. Not again.
Rufus, where are you headed?
Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. Back to the pub. Rufus takes the money that the party has from Dylan. Are you sure you wouldn't like to join me venturing through the town, or would you like more time here with Jin?
Perhaps we could arrange somewhere to meet. Say an hour or so.
Perfect. I'll come back here. I have one task that I'd like to do first, and I'll come back and collect you.
In fact, I'd quite like to see Kunda. We could meet there
Same.
instead.
I can take you there.
I also wish to do that.
In 1 hour's time.
I'll come back here in an hour.
See you then, Rufus.
And then gesturing to the others, the Destiny's children, can you tell me if there's is there a stable around here?
Yeah, Jim scratched his beard. I hear it, Taryn's stables. You remember old Taryn, grumpy stable master? He's been around for years. He's the same stable master. If you've ever been to the stable masters in Emiri, he's the same guy from 4 years ago when I wrote it down. Taryn.
Oh, Taryn.
Didn't we have to keep paying him to keep the gypsy wagon there?
Yep.
Yeah.
In his
It's
stables.
the same guy. Same guy.
Yes, I know the one. I'll be able to find my way. And then with a glint in his eye, Rufus says, "I'm going to go get myself a mount." He's going to go and he's going to walk out. I'll make my way there.
Okay, you make your way to Taryn's stables. So let's have a look. It's down by the 2 short planks in on the southern bridge. It's like the building that was like totally destroyed in the Battle of Emiri and then like slowly was rebuilt. It's like a long, kind of U-shaped building with a large sort of a large signpost painted with a T that looks like an inverse horseshoe, sort of like bends up like that and out. And you can see some fine specimens of horses sort of lined up. Probably a lot are like people travelling to Umiri, and they've kind of had their horse sort of tended to here. But you know that he is a seller of horses, and you have previously bought horses that were, I think, quite quickly killed, probably in the wilds. In fact, Don, I think, was from the stables originally. He's
Big Don.
the donkey that you originally bought and then set free.
God, is that all we could afford back then?
I think, yeah, you could only afford the donkey because the rest were really expensive.
Like level 5.
Then we used it to get to a place with all our stuff, and then just went, "Yep, you're free."
It was like Moria when they get there and they're like, "We can't take you in here, Ben," or whatever the donkey's called. They're like, "See you later," and then
Bill,
Bill, and he just wanders off, and it's like, fuck.
Definitely eaten by that octopus.
Yeah, like immediately killed by octopus as soon as they turn their backs.
Not even the main big one, just like normal octopus that jump out and across them.
The spawn.
You can see a younger man, maybe in his 20s, with a sort of goatee, quite similar to that of Taryn. He's wearing the kind of mustard-coloured, sort of like stable wear, like apron, sort of thick apron style thing to keep all of the shavings, the cheesy shavings of their feet off him. And he's in the process of, skimming have you never been around when they shoe a horse? Or when they
I just love
the description.
I just love the description.
It is fucking disgusting. I've never smelled anything worse. It's
not
so disgusting.
It's just like a huge nail, isn't it?
It's just a nail.
Oh,
imagine,
like under your nail
the
as well.
jankiest toenail smell, and they're like peeling big chunks of it. Yeah. Like I've been there when the guy, because it's like a special man who comes and does it. Because and he comes along and does it for a living, and I'm like, fucking hell. And it's like someone's shaved bits of wood, and they're everywhere. All over the ground,
of cheese.
But it stinks like cheesy feet, like but the worst cheesy feet. You get that smell. It wafts towards you, and there's shavings everywhere. And he sort of looks up. "I'll be with you in a second."
Very well, and I'm just gonna sort of, in the meantime, kind of peruse the steeds that are there.
There's some fine-looking mares as well as some stallions, but most of them look like there are saddles that are kind of on the gate, where to like the paddock that they're in, and a lot of them look like people's saddles, especially the kind of really nice ones. The man kind of clears his throat. "So, what do you want?"
Well met. I'm here to purchase a mount, a steed, the finest you have. I'll be riding into battle tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Well, we ain't got much, and it's going to cost you a fair penny.
Can I insight check him?
Sure, you certainly can.
Oh, natural 1. I see. Times are tough. I guess resources are thin.
No, times
Very
ain't
well.
tough. We're doing fine, thank you. Don't assume.
Well, you just said that there wasn't very much to offer, so I assumed it was all being used at the front.
No, it's because we're selling loads. We're doing well. As I said, we just don't happen to have much right now. All right?
Right. Very well. Lead the way.
All right. Okay. Fine. And he
Headbutt him in the gonads.
What's your name? What's your name, sir?
I'm Taryn Jr.
Taran Jr. Well, my name is Rufus Suncrest. It's a pleasure to meet you.
He sort of squints towards you. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Is Taran here?
Uh,
I would like to see an old friend.
make a persuasion check. Caught him off guard suddenly.
27.
Oh,
He's like, yeah, he is around, but
Would you call him for me? I would appreciate his keen eye
all right, fine,
over
fine.
a steed.
He's not going to be happy though. Taran Jr. walks off. Moments later, the door to the small sort of what looks to be maybe the ledger shed or wherever the office is, like you see him open it and say a few words and you hear, "Oh, what? And then suddenly it quiets down. And you see him stand up and like look through the sort of slatted open window section and then sit back down again. And then he suddenly gets up and sort of dusts his thing up and sort of ties the same sort of mustard yellow apron. And he walks out with his son in tow. Rufus Suncrest. Well met. You see he's got the sort of long goatee that he's always had, but the years have aged him. He's probably into his 60th year at this point. But he's quite like a stocky individual. The furrows of his face are deep and lined with just pure anger.
Rufus greets him quite formally across the way. He gives him like a short bow and says, Taran, it's a pleasure to see you once more. And then he sort of strides over in a more friendly way, grabs him by the hand, shakes it.
He shakes
Taran, that donkey that you sold us many a moon ago saved our lives. We would not be here today if it wasn't for Dot.
That's got to go in the book.
We wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for Don. Roll me just a straight up persuasion check, or just a charisma. You know what? No, you're not persuading anything. You don't need to. He says, "Well, it was a pleasure at the time to sell it to you, if I remember correctly, and you can always trust in Taran's stables. My son here has mainly taken over the business, haven't you, Taran Jr.?" "Yes, father." "God damn it, Taran Jr. I told you not to call me father in front of the people."
You mentioned something dark here. We see something dark.
Oh no!
"You refer to me as Taran Senior." He's like, "Yes, Taran Senior." "My lord, I have the finest mare for you this day, if you'd like to follow me."
Well, my purse has increased considerably since our last meeting, and I would like the finest steed you have available.
I think we can find that. And
Something not afraid of a fight, of riding headlong into the fray.
He leads you out the back towards the sort of paddock area, and you can see there's some horses that are sort of grazing in sort of an area behind the stables. Some are like sort of drinking from the river and sort of moseying around. He whistles quite a professional whistle, and you see galloping over this sort of the rise. That would be a rise, but galloping in this small paddock. You see a fine dappled mare of sort of chestnut and white. You know, like the kind of cow markings. Yeah. Its mane is the kind of white color, and tail the same, and sort of a kind of light chestnut. Similar colors to your background, actually, at the moment. It gallops over and sort of greedily eats from his palm. "She is a fine beauty, is she not? I'll have her saddled. Quick, sharp. Taran Jr., see to it.
And this is the best you have on offer, available.
It certainly is. But a man of your taste should at least test her first.
Indeed.
She is, she's unnamed as of yet. Taran Jr. goes and saddles and bridles her and offers you the reins, Rufus.
Yeah, I'll hop on. Have a little canter.
You begin with a canter. You can see Taran is standing there looking sort of like pleased with himself. Roll me an animal handling check.
It's a natural one.
You know the
It's
bit.
actually a -2 as well.
You know the bit in in the Clone Wars where Anakin's riding that weird creature through the fields, and then
On
he
Naboo.
like drastically falls off, and it's like really janky because it's CGI. That's what it looks like as Rufus rides the horse off in his smaller, gnomish frame. You are just bucked and thrown from the saddle. You like fly a couple of meters in the air and crash to the ground, skinning your knees quite painfully. Taran and Taran Jr. run over. My lord, are you okay? She has never done that before. I can assure you.
This is the best you have to offer?
Well,
Surely not.
Your technique is not. I apologize. Yes, I'm sure it is our horse that is the issue here. You without even insight checking him, you can read through his ruse.
Nay, you're right. I trust you. It's been a while since I've ridden, obviously.
Perhaps a smaller beast will suit your frame more now.
Perhaps I'm not a taller man I used to be.
We do have some fine Shire horses of the smaller type, the ye old Shetland horses.
Rufus takes insult at this. I'm still capable of riding a horse such as this. No, I will take this horse, but it would take time to bond, as it does with any new companion.
You hear Taran Jr. under his breath mutter. He doesn't say anything, but he scoffs visibly.
Do you also fit these horses with armor, or should I visit the blacksmith for that purpose?
We do have a few armaments here that have been made by the local smith. We have some lightweight, some metal that will shield the horse from blows, but not restrict its movement nor speed. It will cost for slightly more for such a fine piece of armor.
How much are we talking here?
Well, he begins to kind of lick his lips slightly. The horse herself, being as fine as she is, would be reasonable for you, my lord, 500 gold. The armor, however, is more the sum of 2,500 gold.
Call it 2,000 and we've got ourselves a deal.
Roll a persuasion check.
25.
Yes, very well, my lord. I would have to ask for 50 gold for to provide you with saddle, bridle, and feed for the mare.
Rufus gives him a curt nod and says, "Very well, make it so. See that it is done."
Nay, I shall see it myself. And he proceeds to get the things in order. You part with 2,050 gold for a armored.
That's a free horse.
In terms of stats, you have an armored warhorse.
An armored war Shetland.
It's not a Shetland. He chose to get the big one.
Oh yeah.
Imagine
Does
Rufus
Rufus not have
riding in
some sort-
on a Shetland.
You should get those. Get like from Shrek with Thingy, where he's got the leg extensions like on his horse. The arms.
Oh my god. Yeah, what's his name? Fucking
Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad. I would love to play a D&D character that was like Lord Farquaad. Like really short and really like snooty.
Dick.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so good.
So Tipple
cool.
Timskin.
I'll once that's all arranged, I'll take the horse by the reins and I'll lead it back through towards the pub.
Okay. In that hour that's passed, you guys have just been drinking and waiting.
I'd like to. Well, after Rufus leaves, I'll turn to Jin. I'll pour him another glass, and we'll do like a little chink. The church. They're already on the plateau.
Yes. Yeah. Some of them are. Fuck this
Grand.
place. He takes one of the shot glasses and throws it across the room. It smashes, and you can see Grim like getting visibly annoyed. You see Arabella's like, I think it's time for us to leave, and she kind of gets him and scoots him out of the booth. I'll see you in the morning.
Fuck's
sake.
Take Arabella's arm for a second. If he's really rough in the morning, just send him Zook's way, and we'll sort him out.
Yeah, he usually can cope. Yeah, she sort of leads him out, and Kong
Can't handle it on the evening kind of guy.
and King runs over and gives you some big wet dog kisses, Dutch.
Yeah, I return.
Before he leaves. Oh, I guess you're
I'll
kind
also
of
give him some
dogged out as
scritches.
well at some point.
Yeah.
You give him some nice scritches, and he bounds out after them. You're left with Anchor, Gaze, Silas, and your brother Yunin.
Damn it. I was going to ask Jin something, but Yunin, perhaps you could assist.
There are members of the church on the plateau.
Is Moran's, Chaplain Moran's there?
I believe so, yes.
I just wish to see them before the morrow. But perhaps it can wait. There's no way of contacting them or bringing them here or myself to them.
Yunin leans forwards. Quite honestly, brother, I fear that there is a lot going on there, and we will see them in time.
I understand.
It
That's
is
what
a
I
long
thought.
march from the base camp on the plateau to where we need to be. I'm sure during that time you can catch up.
Yes, of course. That's fine. When was the last time you saw them?
Only a few days ago. We were there shortly before you were to arrive. Elgrin had predicted the date and time of your arrival and your return. That's why we knew where you were going to be. But the DM didn't.
Moran's as well.
I predicted wrong.
Moran's as well?
I don't know her that well, but they seemed well enough, competent, capable. They spoke very highly of you.
Well, it's been a long time for them. That's okay. I'll just take it, just like sort of shot down the last of my drink. Where's Ruthus?
Ruthus strides back in, having sort of hitched your horse outside.
Brother, I did want to ask you a question. Don't you think we should find out about Rendana?
Well, this was... do you know what? I think if we make it out alive after the days that follow, then we'll reach out. But until then, to be honest, I'm not sure I want to know what's going on in Xanthar. Seems like a fucking mess, to be honest.
Yes, after the Empire fell, Xanthar is a city-state. It holds its own lands. It is powerful in its own right. But the powers that governed it are no more. I believe the power was put, or at least taken, back into the hands of the workers and the guilds. The merchants hold power now.
Good.
Well, don't speak too quickly, brother. Don't know how the merchants would run things. Greedy bastards.
Yeah, but if there's merchants and there's people to rob, so she's got work.
That's true. I'm sure she's well. She's a strong woman.
Yeah.
I just don't really want to. It's been 20 years. I mean, it's hard to tell with a cold heart, apparent cold heart. But I don't really want to reach out and then we both fucking die tomorrow.
Yeah. That would be shit.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. I'm sure, well...
I mean, there's an army, and there's like 12 of us.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a bit of a fucking cross on our heads. All of us.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Hey, you're itching to punch something. It's
Yeah.
been hours since you punched that dragon to death.
You lot have a very unique way of handling situations. It is quite different to, I think, us in a lot of ways, but also very familiar.
Well, I don't understand. So he doesn't punch things, and I'm pointing at Anchor.
Anchor sort of turns. No, I do not punch.
You'd be really good at it.
Would you care for a demonstration? And you see Grim. No, not in here.
Yeah.
Not in
Okay.
here. Outside.
Stop.
And at this point, Rufus walks in. Oh,
Hail,
you're
Rufus.
muted, friend.
Rufus strides over.
It's so loud in here.
What?
So, have you finished talking? Said all you need to say?
Yeah, I think I better not try and force these lots to drink anymore.
Me and Anchor are going to go punch stuff if you want to come.
Maybe after I've seen to my tasks, if there's time. I do like punching things.
Are you to see my father?
I would like to see him also.
I think it will be good to check in.
if you are to head there, I will accompany you.
Great.
Very well. I'd also like to peruse the shops in town. Perhaps gather some supplies, some arrows, see what they have on offer.
Yeah, might as well see what the city's got to offer after 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should buy some new armor. I mean, I've been wearing these for fucking months, and it's, you know, well, there's all sorts on these.
Yeah.
At least give them a good clean, a good servicing.
I only just gotten them bloody. What's the point in fucking cleaning them?
Well, I mean, if you want to absorb more blood into the leather, you need to extract the old blood. See, it all makes sense. Yeah, so should we go see Kunda?
Let's,
Anka,
yes.
Do you want to lead the way?
I'll meet you at the headquarters then later this evening, brother, says Yunin.
Yes, I'll see you later.
Well,
it's good to see you. I'm pleased you're here.
I'm pleased I'm here as well. And I'm pleased that I have been here. He sort of takes Silas's hand a little bit.
It's kind of a weird situation, but last few years have been pretty weird for all of us anyway.
Where is Victor? He did not follow us to the tavern.
Oh, he didn't. Where is he?
I imagine that he probably just meandered off somewhere else as he's not here.
Yeah.
But just to explain that he isn't present for some of the conversations that have happened.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you leave with Anka and head towards the Crimson Keep.
Well, before we do,
Yes.
as we go outside, I unhitch the horse. Friends, I'd like to introduce you to the newest member of the Gypsies of Fortune. This is actually, I don't know your name, I say in horse to it. And I introduce myself to it as well.
You see Rufus begin to and like make sort of horse noises. The horse responds to you, Rufus. Afternoon. I don't have a human name. Perhaps you could give me one. This isn't going to be in the next campaign, so let's just get it all out, you know. Let's do it all. As soon as I did Dawn, the floodgates were open, and from then on, it had to happen. As soon as I did that rabbit,
So much death.
so much death, so much death.
I want to post just all of Rufus's encounters with animals.
Giants in the forest. I see them. They're so big. Like when he talks ages ago.
I shall think upon it, and I will get back to you on that one. But for now, I have a task for you, and I'm going to cast Animal Messenger, which I speak a message of up to a certain amount of words, and I send an animal to go and deliver that message to someone that I describe.
Okay.
And I describe to the horse the perfect image of Zook, and who he is and where he went. And the message is, "Hello, Zook."
Who says this? Does the horse say it? How does it work?
Yes.
Oh, in your voice.
In Rufus's voice.
God's sake.
Break him.
Hello, Zook. It's me, Rufus. I have transformed into horse. Are you pleased?
You can't lie.
Oh, you can't lie.
Oh shit! Oh.
It's what you want to
Okay.
say, but can't.
Is what I want to say. Say,
Oh,
hello, Zook. I have sent you this horse to deliver this message. We are going to the shops.
I'm gonna get some fucking popping down shops. Do you want anything?
Cornetto.
Oh god.
Cornetto.
Fucking pixie magic.
Oh,
Meet us
Where is-
there if you'd like to prepare for the coming battle. Goodbye.
and the horse turns to you. It shall be done, Rufus. But next time you should ride me better, and it gallops off down the street.
Oh no. I don't know if I should have talked to this horse. Oh. Okay.
Gonna be all
Yeah,
the sweeter when
so-
it gets murdered in the battle. You head to the Crimson Keep. As you do, you pass by the headquarters. You can see it there, right outside to the side of the Crimson Keep. It is the same, but the garden and like hedgerows are tended to. The lights or the candles are on inside. Are you going to go in, or are you moving past and coming there later?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Maybe we should just like
Let's do
to
shopping.
keep things expedient. Let's just go like right. We're gonna see Kunda. We're gonna go to the shops.
cool, okay.
Can we potentially do the shops like as a separate thing and just sort of buy all? The
Yeah.
stuff we need and then-
We can skip bits. We've had some good RP now. So you visit the Crimson Keep. Upon entry at the actual portcullis, crimson cloaked guards in sort of shining mail and spears that you notice look a little maybe small or like not as muscular for their armor, stand sort of guard by the fort itself. One of them steps forward. Halt there! Halt there, please! No one enters the keep without permission. I mean, who goes there?
Does the owner of his own keep need permission to enter it?
What? He rubs his eyes. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know you, and the owner of this here keep is one Fleet Key.
The last time I was here, I was the owner. Belonged to one named Rufus Suncrest.
He sort of scratches his wispy, prepubescent scruff on his chin. Sorry, I
But
don't
you
know
are
that. Don't know who that is.
Stand aside, child. We're here to see Kunda. We have urgent business.
I'm sorry, I can't let you in. We have strict orders. Let no one in, other than those himself. And you see, Anchor steps forwards. Excuse me, guard. Please, these are with me. These humans and gnomes and half-orcs, and he doesn't say humans. And they immediately are like, oh, yes, of course, Anchor. And they step aside. Raise the gates. They slowly sort of like clink it up. Anchor steps forwards and just with one hand pushes it up. After you, Gypsies of Fortune.
Can't believe they stole your fucking keep.
Yeah, it's pretty savage.
You step down and Anchor turns and closes it down behind you. The guards here are relatively new. Most of the able-bodied fighters are at the plateau.
why do you even bother with the guards if you ain't got proper ones? Because, I mean, they're not stopping anybody.
Fleet is highly suspicious of enemies within our ranks.
But I understand that, but them, how? They... I mean...
Fleet believes that all youths should learn how to fight, for it is what he did.
Whatever you say. Go on, lead the way.
Anka sort of quite childishly almost and excitably kind of jogs forwards across the open courtyard. You can see the keep rising up before you. It's kind of large, square-sided tower rising high with like the long banner stretching down and kind of blowing in the wind. There are a few that look to be like younger guards, maybe like between the ages of like 14 to like 16, maybe even a bit younger, that are all kind of standing, going through some drills in the courtyard. And it very much reminds you, Rufus, of the time that you trained a bunch of sort of like fresh recruits in Angmiri for the I believe the Battle of Angmiri. You like trained a load of people. There were like old people and young people, those that sort of are either too young to fight or sort of past their prime. They go through some drills, and there's no one seemingly around in charge that's directing them. You pass on through and begin the ascent to the kind of center section of the keep, where Kunda's sort of residence lie. Anka, without knocking, just opens the door. "Father, I return," and strides into Kunda's workshop. Upon entering, some smoke sort of billows out from the doorway, and Anka kind of stoops down, but seemingly not bothered, not breathing. Part of his face just sort of in the top layer of smoke that's against the ceiling. You see some goggles plucked off the face and put on the head of the kind of scruffy, dark black hair and large cropped black and sort of white streaked beard. His face is like ruddy with oil or soot everywhere except where the goggles were before. He takes a couple of spectacles off and puts them on, looking up towards you. You can see Kunda has got fairly old. He was an elderly dwarf already, and now even more old. He looks towards you all, and then darts his hand, reaching for something that looks like a small kind of sphere about this big, with a kind of leather strap on the bottom. He grabs it and throws it across the room like a discus, straight towards you, Brother Draug. I'd like you to make me an acrobatics check to catch this out of the air.
That would be 27.
Reaching your hand up, you clasp it by the kind of leather strap on the side, and as you grab it, your hand kind of hits the inside mechanism, and you watch as it flicks out, kind of rotating sideways into a large metal shield.
Ah, yes. Awesome.
Gypsies of fortune! Well, it's been some time. That's been sitting around for ages, tinkering away at that thing.
2 decades.
Well, it's gone
Sorry,
through some
I didn't collect it
iterations.
sooner.
You're not actually the first one to prototype it.
And he nods towards Anka, and you see part of Anka's arm detaches and drops down into a large tower shield.
Oh,
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, yours is more lightweight.
Oh, it's good to see you all. He rushes in and kind of tries to grab you all in a kind of embrace together.
Oh, well, it's been some time, as Elgrin said it would be. But ain't it good to see
How are
all
you
your
keeping?
faces?
You seem well.
Oh, yeah, I'm extremely well. Doing very well. And, well, I've been tinkering away, making things for the people and doing the good fight.
You had Anchor return to you. That must be
I know.
incredible.
Taps him. Ting, ting, ting. Ain't he a marvel? Well, thanks to that gnome friend of Zook's, he returned Anchor to us after it was stolen by Oshkar and Silvermarks.
Did you find out why they wanted him? If they tried to steal any of the secrets he held?
Well, who wouldn't want this? If you had this, you could take him apart, and you could put him into bits, and you could learn how he works, and maybe even replicate him.
And did they? Do you know?
No! Did they, Anchor? Didn't get that far. Anchor, kind of turns. No. I spent some time with Nyx Silverthread before he was easily persuaded, and became extremely guilty of his crimes, thus returning me to Umiri.
Well, that is a relief.
A relief indeed. So, how long's it been for you then? Because it doesn't look like it's been very long. You look exactly how I remember you all.
It's been about 24 hours
No
since
shit.
we were last here.
24 hours. Well,
Pretty crazy.
I would
supposedly you've
suggest
made
not
it
going
just in
to the
time.
Fae.
I won't be going there anytime soon. No, sir.
You've done your part. You've done a lot.
Aye, well, I've overseen most of the industry. Although, bit of
I can
pushback.
see.
I thought that if Zook had gone, we'd be able to hack down a few more forests. But, well, the druid's still about, apparently. Elgrin's taken on some kind of role. Although not quite maybe the same as Zook. Ain't allowed to chop none of the bellwood down, that's for sure. But
Yeah, I'm not.
ain't the other side up for grabs. What we did.
And by the way, that Zook went off to Nyx's earlier. I'm sure you'd have got quite a tongue lashing from him as well if you touched those woods.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he's an alchemist. Ain't the same. Dealing with that sort of corrosive materials. Scratches his beard, part of it kind of peels and just kind of peels off, like breaks away, like it's become all fried.
It's bloody good to see you, and I can see how Umiri's flourished. I can see your work on the gates and the such.
Hey, you noticed? I know. Second stone wall up and solid. Although we ain't been able to put it to good use. It's always Brinshander they bring the fight to, ain't it? Bring the fight there, never get this far up.
Out of curiosity, have you helped them with their defences as well?
Oh, aye. Help them with their defences indeed. Although, supposedly I ain't allowed in the War Council no more. That's why I'm here. Got a bit feisty. Couple of
how
old
do you mean?
companions from... Well, I say companions. Noble acquaintances from Thaldaral. I didn't take too kindly seeing them again, I'll tell you that.
Are they involved with the war effort then?
Yeah, and he spits on the ground. We don't need their help. Good
Don't
people.
be so brash.
Good people of Thaldaral. No need for them to get involved in this bloodshed. But equally, it's them drow that are pulling them strings, sending them to their death just for some diplomatic reasons. We got it handled. We don't need them.
We can deal with the drow after the threat's been dealt with. I fear that we must put all past grievances aside until it's dealt with.
Oh, got a few things for you. He goes off through a sort of side door, and you hear some banging and scraping. And eventually he comes back, pushing in a kind of barrel which has some arrows stuck in it.
Wow.
Been cleared out, mainly. But there are a few here, that are sort of left.
I mean, this is incredible. You know, this is enough. But anything to help would be appreciated.
Oh no, these
Fact,
ain't no ordinary arrows. Pulls them out, and you can see on the other side where the tip is, there's like a metal sort of ball bearing attached to the end. They're not sharp, they're like metal ball bearings.
Do explain.
Father, you should be more careful with that. And Anchor sort of snatches it out of his hand. This is highly dangerous and should not be kept in a mere barrel. Oh,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. We're in a
Where's the
stone
fun with
fortress.
So, do elaborate.
Upon firing at the enemy, this small lead compartment at the end should shatter and detonate, causing a minor explosion. Should affect people in a small radius around them. Burn them
That
up.
sounds
as
fun.
I know, took a while to perfect. You can see like redness on his face and scars, probably years old.
I hope you didn't lose anything irreplaceable.
Only my pride a few times. And
How many can you spare?
a couple of Anchor's fingers. Take them. I mean, there's only this few left. You can see there's 7 that are left in there. Fleet
I'll give
been taking, clearing us out of pretty much anything useful, demanding it.
Fair enough.
He's pretty persuasive, that boy.
I'll give 2 to Rufus, and I'll also give you. Do you want some fire arrows as well, Rufus?
Oh, sure, yeah. Why not?
How many do you think you'll use realistically?
Don't know, whatever you want to give.
I'll give you. Let's give you 4 fire arrows, and what did I say? 2 explosion arrows.
Nice. Kunda, speaking of which, it has been 20 years. I hope you've been able to make the adjustments on the pistol that I gave you.
Oh, of course. Yes, good point. About that, so, I mean, you can have it back if you want. And he sort of gestures toward Anchor, and you can see Anchor's hand sort of separates down, and you can see where it's like been embedded within Anchor's hand.
Ah, I see.
We had to put
You
it
know
to
what?
good use.
It has been put to good use. Keep it there.
Well, thank you, Lord Mayor. Oh,
Well, it's good to see that you're still alive.
oh yeah, indeed
still
I am.
has-
Plenty more years, strong and kicking. If you could have a word with Fleet for me, on my behalf, maybe just apologise. You know, apologise to him. Say how I seem in a good steady state to return to said plateau and war council.
What exactly happened between you two?
Oh, well, nothing between me and Fleet per se, physically, but it did come to blows with let me find the exact name for you real quick. With the fucking advisor Homideth Cold Rock. You'd remember him. He owned the adamantine mines. Fucking bastard.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Well, we'll put in a good word. It seems like Fleet's doing a good job, but I mean, maybe he needs to be humbled a little bit. I mean,
Oh, he's
Yeah.
been plenty humbled on the plateau, I tell you that. He doesn't forget those defeats. Certainly does not. The men that he's lost, he takes it all. Blames himself a lot of the time.
Seems he came face to face with one of those devils. He's got the scars to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Do you know the story?
Well, don't know exactly, but I know that he fought both of them. They all did. Didn't go well and they had to escape.
We can relate to that.
Yeah. It was during the Great Lakes. During the retaking of Fjellstown. They didn't much like that. That's the last time anyone's seen him as well.
I think we can draw them out. I mean, one of them's got a. Well, we have an arrangement. But, I mean, I'm hoping, and I think Dutch would be happy to oblige. I think I have a way of breaking it. Well, and it definitely involves Dutch's fists breaking him.
Oh, I'd love to be there to see that. You've got to persuade him. Persuade Fleet. For me.
Oh, you should see these, Dutch. Show Kundi your new toys.
Yeah, yeah, the crystalline bear paws, like, I don't know, it starts as like a mist that solidifies into like a crystal sort of structure around Dutch's hands.
Oh, fucking hell. That's cool. You take him off.
And he hits them together and they just shatter.
They begin to disappear. You can see they automatically sort of begin to reform. But Dutch, you can sense the control of essentially when you want them to kind of crystallize and grow. Once they're fully crystallized, they like harden into like what looks like almost metal, like a kind of moon-like metal.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. So that happens.
Whoa. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, Anchor, you're certainly pleased to see him as well, aren't you? Anchor sort of nods. Yeah, good boy. And he sort of gives him a bit, reaches up, and Anchor reaches his head down, and he gives him that sort of like rub on the head. Thank you, Father. I will fight valiantly tomorrow on our behalf, but I shall make sure that my companions do not fall. That's what you were made for. Well, lovely to see you, but I've got an order to get on with, and if you're back, I'm sure there's lots of people you want to see over me. Speaking of which,
don't worry.
I bet there's a certain elf that'll be very pleased to see you.
You're being sarcastic, right?
That's right.
He's still alive?
Can we
Waylon?
find him?
Yeah,
He's a fucking elf. He'll be kicking around for ages.
you don't look any different.
Already soiling himself last time we saw him.
Yeah,
20 years
yeah,
ago.
he was. You know, he's not even actually that old for an elf. It's just all of the torture he received was the thing that actually sort of, I guess, expedited the reduction of his body. He won't even let me help him. I tried to design him, or at least pitch him, a couple of things, a couple of ideas to help him. He's stubborn as fuck.
And that
We've
comes a lot
experienced
from coming from a dwarf.
Well, Kunda, if you wish to join us this evening for a meal, then come to the hedge quarters.
Oh, I certainly will. Never pass up a bit of Nathir's cooking.
He does do it very well.
Makes a great toad in the hole.
Indeed.
Still up to it? How old will Nathir be now, Rufus?
He's sort of in his...
How old was he before?
He's the same, on sort of basically the same age as you. I mean, you sort of grew up together, but he was always, like, lower born.
Yeah.
He must be, say, in his 60s now?
Yeah, maybe. About that.
Wow. I mean, people age differently. Might be all right.
He's like a cheese.
Toad in the hole, though.
Or a wine. He ages well.
Yeah, all that time to perfect those recipes even better. You head to wherever you're heading next. You want to do some shopping?
Yeah, but like, you know.
Could we do it? We could do it out as like outside of session, no?
Well,
Essentially?
just let me know quickly what sort of things you'd be looking for.
Potions and weapons.
Yeah, I would love them. Sorry, yeah, go for it.
Or, I mean, I've got plate, so I don't know if there's anything better than plate.
Masterwork.
Yeah, it would only be like masterwork or custom plate or things like that. But you search around town to expedite things. You spend a good amount of time searching around town. You go to Malakis's Marvelous Medicines, but
Does
find
Zook
his
turn up
pouches
with the
empty
horse?
of nag shampoo. He doesn't. He's not there, and it's closed. And it looks like there's it's been all of the shelves have like nothing on it. You can get anything that that is generic from the player's handbook, like plate, things like that. That's all there. Arrows, which you can kind of do yourselves. But anything else, like any magical things, potions, anything that would be useful for a battle has been taken from the town. It's stripped already. The few things that you've already got are like things that people have either hidden and then you've managed to already yeah, exactly.
Can we go see Wayland?
You certainly can. Making your way to the old Mirial, you head towards the Elven building and begin to climb the steps up towards the actual Elven Mirial building itself. You spiral those stairs up to the same floor in which Glockter's chambers, his offices reside. And do you knock? Do you just go in? How are you proceeding?
Yeah, we just go in.
Let's do this. Let's plan this well. Let's do something that's gonna really grind his gears. Dutch, do you want to boot open the door?
Oh, he's so fucking old, man. He might die.
Nah, he's not even that old.
No, look. Let's just be nice.
But he's so grumpy. It's really funny.
Yeah, then I don't know. Fucking yeah, fuck it. Knock, knock. Kick open the door.
Kick the door open. Douche. It's one of those really thin sort of in interior wooden doors, and it just boo. I imagine you kick it with such force, it hits and then comes back and closes again. It's like cuckoo, and then douche hits the ground.
As it does, I'm going to use Presti to create instantaneous harmless sensory effects like showers of sparks and puffs of wind and musical notes, just as it bursts open.
I pick up I don't know, maybe my sword and just dance it across the room with mage hands.
You all jump in, entering the chamber, and there, behind a stack of papers nearly as high as the ceiling, you see a startled and with maybe a little bit of spittle from his gummed teeth, his gumless mouth, his teethless. His gums, whatever.
Toothless gums.
His toothless gums. Thank you.
Gumless teeth.
He sort of looks quite startled. He grabs his glasses, pushing them up his long, sort of broken, misshapen nose. What is the? Oh, it's you. And you all kind of step in. Pew, 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 pew.
You'll be pleased to know that we are not dead.
I count 1, 2, 3 fuckheads before me. Where
yeah,
did
the
the
rest
other
of them
two?
died.
Did they die?
Yes.
They're just off gallivanting.
They're
Zook
dead.
floats in through the door. Oh, I saw you heading to... Waylon, you're still around.
Yes, right there he is. It is I, the man himself, Waylon. And the Gypsies of Fortune have returned. What can I do for you this day?
How are you? What you been up to?
I'm super duper. Couldn't be more chipper.
Perfect.
Are you still in charge around here in any respect?
Yes, I mean, who's going to mop up the mess that young Master Key makes in his gallivanting? It is I, the ever vigilant.
I hope you don't blame us for influencing the young lad.
Well, quite the contrary. He has done some marvelous things. Marvelous things that require a lot of paperwork. He sort of looks towards it. Documentation for future records. Nearly all in order. Well, the one thing I can say is it's quieter around here now that there's this final battle of the ages going on.
You don't fancy getting involved? You know, throwing a few punches?
No, those days are far behind me, and quite frankly, I don't fancy being recaptured by another enemy nation. I'm not quite sure what more they could do.
I've got one. Have you heard from your brother?
Interestingly, I have.
I bet he loves us.
He certainly does. And you can see Waylon smiles a genuine, wide,
Yes!
toothless smile.
We did it!
Right, campaign complete, guys. Let's
We
go.
made him happy.
I
4 years it
Waylon's
took.
I honestly
4
could not
long
be
years.
more smug.
You
was
know,
very
when
sure
I
of
slapped
himself.
him, I pictured you.
You did not.
I did.
I could kiss you, Dutch, but
I
won't,
know.
and I shan't.
I think you should kiss.
His face drops back down. Part of that was jest, I assume you are aware. I have not kissed anyone with these delicious lips in a long time.
It's been enough time.
Lest they seduce the young half-orc into some state of...
Dying love.
I forget myself. It is good to see all your faces, but if there is anything in particular I can help you with, I suggest that you... well, I assume I'm probably the last on your list of people to see. Who else have you still got to see?
Oh, we've still got to go to the other pub, go see the orcs, and the fishermen.
Oh, good.
And
Well, I'm glad I was put above those people in your order of whom you saw first.
You were actually pretty high up on the list, to be honest. Maybe like third.
I'm
We just thought
feigning
you went
the
to
fact
bed
that I
at about
actually give
4
a fuck.
o'clock.
Right?
Oh, go on. You love it.
Is
I
there
don't know what's
something
happened to me, Dave.
something particular? And I'm sure you've been
Not
caught
really.
up on all that has gone on the past.
I don't know. Is there
Yeah,
anything
2
we should
decades.
know?
Do you know where the notorious orb of perpendicularity is? Does Varian still have it?
He
Or has
does.
he given it to you?
Varian holds the orb of perpendicularity.
Good to know. This could be some connection between what we're about to do and that object.
I don't doubt that there likely is.
Oh no, that's really bad.
Dutch,
Yeah,
what's up?
because they said Carmoon, and when I touched the orb, I spoke to Carmoon, like actually years ago, not the fake 20 years ago.
So you're saying there's a connection.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Good to know. Do you remember anything about Carmoon? Sorry, Waylon, we're just going to be having this conversation in your office if you don't mind.
Has
Fine.
4 eyes.
4 arms?
Eyes.
Sure.
4 eyes.
Eyes.
So
Oh,
poke him
dear.
in the eyes if we fight him.
The many-seeing thing.
Look, I don't know about you guys, but I think. Do we need to go and do much else? I just feel like putting my feet up for the rest of the day.
No.
Zook kind of looks
Rest
outside
is important.
Zook looks out at the sun lowering in the afternoon and says, Rufus, if you don't mind, would you like to come with me?
It's about time we made our way. Yes, the rest of you, we should rest if you can. There will be a lot to come tomorrow.
Fuck Dutch.
Oh,
I think there was. I think when I had when we came back from Xanthar, I got a bottle of. There was a bottle of rum. There was one more, and I left it at the headquarters. It might still be there. I put it behind a floorboard.
yeah.
Let's go, quick.
No.
I was genuinely worried for a second. I was like, holy shit. You guys head to the headquarters as Zook and Rufus, you head to High Canopy.
Is Waylon not coming?
No, I think I'll pass this time.
You don't fancy some 20-year-old rum from Xanthar?
No, I feel it would purge the skin from the inside of my throat. That is already
That's the hope.
raw from the amount of talking that I have done today. Scar tissue, you see, where they poured boiling oil down my throat.
That's truly horrendous.
Who was it that did that to you again?
It was the people of what did I call it on the map? I always get a few things confused. It is. Let me have a look.
Kirkland or something? Was it?
Kirklear. The people of
Yeah.
Kirklear.
Kirkland. Isn't that like a? Don't they make like
Kirkula.
kitchenwares?
Kirkula.
And were they human?
Yes, a mixture of human and dragonborn.
So they're most likely all dead anyway.
Well, I don't know. I hear Kirkula's doing quite well for themselves at the moment, now that the Empire has gone.
But
Well, on that happy note,
Quite.
let's go get drunk.
Before we head off, I passed the reins of my new horse called Justice over to
yeah.
Lady
to Dylan and
Justice.
Dutch.
Lady Justice.
Please escort Lady Justice back to the headquarters.
You can see she sort of trots her feet slightly. Waylon catches you, I will say, just before you exit. Says, "Oh, Gypsies,
Aye.
good luck out there. Good luck." And I think we'll end the session there, right before the special Zook and Rufus thing. And we will pick up
Nice.
with
Nice.
with the final last bit of RP and Mary before the final battle.
Oh fuck.
We're just edging ourselves at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we could have
Right.
sped
Have a
through
whole-
it, but I think this is it, guys. This is it. You know, I mean, it's not
So-
it for your
so cut-
characters, but for us, this is probably the last. The lasting Miri bit. It's
Yeah,
worth
it would
taking
feel
our time,
wrong.
I think.
Well, I'm sure we'll revisit it as one shots, but
I've got some cool ideas actually.
Yeah, we were saying, I said to Theo the other day, we should do a one shot where we all like play half an hour with our character, and then we pass the character sheet around the table,
that
and
would
then we
be
play
so
someone else's
funny.
character.
Yeah,
Like just switch, just do a whole character rotation.
but we should all take in turns to DM as well.
Yeah, I switch too. Like I have to rotate as well.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be
it would be sick.
hilarious. Oh my god.
We should do a dungeon and each do a level.
Yeah,
of it, is it-
yeah. Like every section of the dungeon, you have to switch. Imagine playing someone else's character, and just being like, I fucking take the brick and I shove it up my ass. And like, you can't do that. Yeah, I fucking can do what I want to your character.
I pick up the goblin and pump the goblin 5 times.
Roll a performance check.
I slide the Heartstone halberd all the way into my butt.
I just have the point sticking
all
out
the way
like
to
a
my
big
heart.
angry bee.
I put
Why?
the tip of the halberd in my ass and then turn it back into an obelisk.
I imagine you're just on top.
Yeah.
Oh my god, have you seen? Oh, we should probably stop the stream. Okay, thanks everyone.